A good nerve Shabbos, everybody. I was just listening to Dennis Prager. I felt like I wanted to call in, but I don't have time to sit if I don't have reception. Most of my trip traveling, I don't have reception, to be honest, which is a good reason to make videos while I'm traveling. And I want to address some of the things that he said and maybe try to connect it to this week's parsha. We'll see if we can do that. A Christian, called him trying to make an apologetic claim of proving true his belief. And Mr. Prager brought up saying that it's as much as he believes that his own personal beliefs in Judaism are rational and make sense, he doesn't believe they can be proven to be true. And he said he doesn't understand why a person of faith seeks to prove that which they believe. He said even if you look at a miracle happening, you can't be sure of what is exactly happening. He said even to the point where, this is what he said. He said, Scripture says, and they believed in the Lord and in Moses, his servant. You know, talking about when the Red Sea split, and he said there were sure to be people who even saw the Red Sea split from those millions of Hebrews who were there. Someone must have said, maybe it was just a coincidence, a strong wind or something like that, because God wanted to give free will to the people to choose to be atheists. It's foolishness to be atheists. He didn't want to rob them of their free will by making it so obvious. And so he didn't talk about free will, but I'm adding that to that. And so he used this revelation, he used the wind to split the sea, as the Scripture testifies. The only thing is that I want to bring two issues. One, so he's saying here we see in the Scripture, it says, and they believed in the Lord and in Moses his servant. So therefore, Scripture only expects belief and not knowledge. Now I'm sure he knows that Scripture in Deuteronomy chapter 4 says, you have been shown to know that the Lord is God and there is no other. It was a demonstration of knowledge. So therefore, you could even say intimate knowledge, if you want to go there. But you've been shown to know that the Lord is God, there is no other. Well, there you go. There you have it. It was a demonstration that should give us knowledge, not just belief. It doesn't say you were shown to believe that the Lord is God, but to know that the Lord is God. That's in the Bible too. That's in the Torah. Deuteronomy chapter 4. And that passage is probably, I think, one of the strongest, and I've made many videos on this subject, one of the strongest arguments in apologetics ever, because Moses asks the people to do research and see, did any other nation claim national revelation? As you have seen before your eyes, you were shown to know that the Lord is God. Now I can understand you want to say that today, because we weren't shown, it is by belief, but in the time of Moses it was knowledge, and that's why they're called the Dor Deah, the generation of knowledge, because they knew that God is real and didn't merely believe. But the big issue that I want to bring out here is that when you translate something, you lose something always gets lost in translation. To the point where I believe the French have a saying something along the lines that a translator is a traitor. And we know French people are very proud of their language. They refuse often to speak other languages if they can avoid it. They're very proud of their language. And I believe that Mr. Prager is perhaps being intellectually dishonest by quoting that passage in Exodus to say, and they believed in the Lord and in Moses' his servant, that this word emunah, v'yaminu b'Hashem of Moshe Avdoi, that emunah here, really anywhere in Scripture, means faith in the sense that we use it today as a belief in something that you do not know empirically. Rather, this word faith means trusting in somebody particular. And the word for a professional is an uman, meaning that this person has a license. He's a professional. He's proven himself. The word emunah really means something that's proven in a certain sense, and not how we use it in English. That's the problem with, we have this word faith, and we translate it as such, and we're really missing out on something here. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean what it means in English in Hebrew. It means something different. I mean, the same thing when we speak about Dennis Prager also, he constantly says, to his lament, that Judaism is not only a religion, it's also a peoplehood, and because you can be an atheist Jew, is what he claims, and all throughout Scripture, it speaks about Jewish peoplehood, nationhood, Israelite nationhood. But the thing is that this word, whether it's Am or Goy, people, nation, it doesn't mean anything racial necessarily. It doesn't mean what it means in modern English again. And you can compare it to other Middle Eastern religions that came out of Judaism, came from the same source. Muslims consider their people to be the Ummah. And it's not a racial issue. You're part of the Ummah if you're white or black or Arab, doesn't matter. If you're from Bangladesh, you're also part of the Ummah. It's not, the Uyghurs are also part of the Ummah of Islam. So, these are issues that, should be remembered. And so the same thing here with Judaism. And the thing is also, Kufir is not part of the Ummah in Islam, right? And the other, and where'd they get that from? They got it from us. It's just that in modern days, the secularists, there were two people, the secularists who wanted to remove the Judaism from the Jews on one hand, and the anti-Semites who wanted to redefine Jewish identity as something other than religious, because it wasn't just that they didn't like Jews because of their religion, but they also didn't like Jews because of just their race or something like that. That Nazi ideology that you couldn't, you couldn't stop being Jewish. It's not a Torah ideology. We always hear people saying, this person, he would have been killed by Hitler, so therefore he needs to be protected. That's not a Torah ideology of how we define who's a Jew. We don't define Hitler isn't the one who defines who or what a Jew is. And the fact is, even halachically speaking, you have people who would be considered of Jewish blood according to Hitler, who are not considered of Jewish blood according to Jewish halacha. Halacha says, if someone's mother is Jewish, they're Jewish in the sense that they are obligated to keep Judaism. But if they're not keeping it, they don't become a Gentile, but they're considered like a Gentile as far as they lose whatever privileges of being a Jew. But they don't lose their obligations of being a Jew. It's pretty much... So again, if you mistranslate these words, you're going to lose what it means. Connecting to this week's Parsha, I don't have time for that now. I'm going to go chap a mikveh. So I'm sorry I mentioned the Parsha. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. And what do I mean you lose the privileges of being a Jew, though? You don't count for a minyan. You pick up unpasteurized wine. The wine's not kosher. Things like that. So, there we have it. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. We'll see you later. Good Shabbos.